Happy Monday, Striver. It's another week. It's just another opportunity for you to give your best, for you to take on these challenges that are in front of you right now in your life, for you to truly face your life, all of the challenges, the obstacles, the opportunities, the blessed people you're going to interact with this week, and to bring your A game. To bring your absolute best, not to play your C game or your D game or your F game, but play your A game, championship level, demanding a lot from yourself, even though it'd be so much easier to, coast through life. You say, no, I want something extraordinary in my life. I want to have a life where I feel energized and connected with other people. I want to have a life where I feel like what I'm doing matters. I want to have a life where I get to be creative and collaborate with other people. I want to have a life where, you know what? I'm proud of myself when I put my head on the pillow at night because I showed up. I lived authentically. I was nice to people. I enjoyed this blessing of life. That's what Mondays are. Mondays are a second chance to recalibrate ourselves to the realities that we can choose to live our best lives, even in the midst of all the difficulties of life. It's just a renewal. It's a convenient new day. It's a convenient new chapter to start this week strong. So if you haven't already done it, you already know two things you should definitely do every Monday. One, open up that journal after this daily fire and smack that button that says morning mindset. I'd love for you to do that every day in Growth Day. And if you do that, I promise it will start shaping a more positive mindset. And you deserve that. And then the second is go to your plan section and make sure you capture your to-do list for this day or this week or this month by creating a plan. Remember, in Growth Day, you can go to the plan section and you can write out your to-do list, but what's cool is you can create tasks and subtasks. You can set up reminders and deadlines to get notifications in the app. And that way, every time you log in, you can see your notifications and go, oh, right, yeah, I'm supposed to be doing this. And those reminders can truly change your life. I think it's important that we remember it's hard to be on your A game without reminders. It's hard to do your best without a plan. It's hard to live your best life without starting your morning in a good mindset. Today, since it is Monday, I'd love to share with you a concept called the joy of service. A lot of people drudge into Monday. Oh gosh, here we go again. Because all they can think about is their tasks and their obligations. And they haven't taken that part yet, I would imagine, that happens when they reach higher self-awareness or greater gratitude for life and going, wow, this week, it's an opportunity to serve. If you've been in my community a long time, you know that I start off a lot of days and weeks with a simple little prayer. I like to say, thank you, God, for this opportunity to serve this week. Grant me the strength to focus this week, to be mindful and present, to serve with excellence, to be a force of love. Now, I think I've said that to myself every dang Monday for, I don't know, it must be coming on 10 or 15 years. I can't even remember when I first came up with that one. Thank you, God, for this opportunity to serve this week. Grant me the strength to focus this week, to be mindful and present, to serve with excellence, to be a force of love. Now, that can sound a little high in the clouds, especially if you don't happen to believe in God, that's okay. But you can believe in service. You can believe in contribution. You can believe in giving. And I think you might as well start each Monday with a little statement to yourself, whether you call that a mantra, an affirmation, a prayer, and just have a little statement that puts yourself in a good place. And for me, that's anchoring myself in the morning with a statement or a prayer or an affirmation to make sure that I have the mindset required to serve at the level I want. And I really believe when you have a higher intention to serve, life does become more joyful. You kind of get giddy and geeky about having the opportunity to help people this week. That's what I think about the joy of service. It's an expression of the true contribution and giving, generous nature that you have, and you get to go be of service to others. There's a lot of people in this world struggling and being challenged. I like to tell the youth that I get to coach and work with in my career, you know what? Once in a while, make sure you pick your head out of that phone and you look around the world and your community and notice all the challenges and problems. Remember how much you have it better than others and how blessed you are for that. And maybe go volunteer, go serve, or go get a job that solves problems that you're passionate about, or works with people who you're excited to be creative and collaborative with. Because if you can do those things, you can wake up with the joy of service, even if you don't have much. I discovered the joy of service when I was broke in college. I just discovered, I was like, wow, I really love working with other people, helping them improve their life or figure things out or figure out how to be a better communicator or leader or better in relationships, just how to help people feel or live or be better. I started finding joy in that service to others. I didn't know it was a thing. It certainly wasn't anywhere on the agenda of my college degree. It was just something I found, and I thought, I'm going to cultivate that. I'm going to think about that. And every day I'm going to make sure I connect with that idea that what I'm doing in this world, no matter how small, can be a mindful intention, can be a practice, can be a service that is authentic and generous. The joy of service. First, if you didn't pick up on the lesson, anchor yourself every morning into the joy of service, whatever that means to you. Second, I think it would be really powerful if you could remember that you can be generous to your peers. See, so often we believe that we are individual contributors. So we don't say thank you, or we don't appreciate or recognize the other people on our teams or those who serve with us. And we're not generous with them in terms of our praise, appreciation, or acknowledgement. And you know what? They feel that. I know you do too. I know a lot of strivers we talk to here, you're an executive, or you're a CEO, or you run your own business. We have a lot of people who run their own businesses who listen to GrowthDay. Tends to be the entrepreneurs, by the way, just as an interesting stat. Entrepreneurs study personal development at a level of about 2.7 times the average employed person. That doesn't mean that that's true for everyone. It just means that most entrepreneurs do that because they realize they have to get better or they do not ever break through or get paid. So historically, entrepreneurs are much more engaged. But no matter who you are, you probably work with people. And I bring this up about entrepreneurs, or if you're a manager or a CEO or you're a senior executive, sometimes it's quote unquote lonely at the top. Other people don't, recognize or see the sacrifice or recognize the obligations that you have as a leader. Sometimes they don't realize how much more pressure or weight you have. Sometimes they take you for granted. Sometimes they forget to say thank you. And sometimes that's when you're not just the head of a business or the head of a company. That can be when you're the head of the household as well, right? When you are the leader or the caregiver or the parent or the mentor or the role model that people look up to, sometimes they don't say thank you. They don't remember those things. It doesn't make them, bad. It just means that they haven't learned this idea of joy of service. They haven't learned to be generous to those who they lead and serve alongside with. Because real leaders recognize that we're all just collaborators together. But that also means we need to be generous with one another. I know this personally. I've been running a business a really long time. This is my 16th or 17th year in business as a writer, a coach, and an online teacher. And you know what? Most Christmases throughout my career, maybe 5 or 10% of the people that I pay actually even say Merry Christmas to me, or send me well wishes on the first of the year, or give me a shout out even once a month. It's just like, that's part of being an entrepreneur. I don't expect it of those that I lead or I serve, and I've had the blessing of employing thousands of people, but I'd say it's 5% on average think to do that, because for them as a leader, they see me serving them, right? They're working hard for our company or our team. They see it sometimes transactional. Well, gosh, I provide the paycheck that it provides the mortgage or the car bills or the student bills. And gee, thanks, Brendan, for that. But not a lot of like generosity of appreciation or recognition happens for senior leaders. And that's in every company around the world. There's a lot of organizational psychology research about how lonely it can feel at the top. But how do you break through on that? What's the difference maker? Well, if you read my book, High Performance Habits, you'll see that I broke down and kind of broke that myth that it's lonely at the top, kind of inspired by one of my teachers and mentors in life, Brian Tracy, who said, if you are lonely at the top, you did it wrong. I found that you shouldn't expect everybody to appreciate or give you the accolades or the appreciation, the rewards that you give them as a leader, because that's your job as a leader, to help incentivize and reward performance. It's usually not those who are in, other levels of the organization to do that up or do that up to you. So you don't expect it. But what I've said is, if you feel lonely, then you're not really connected to the team. Don't expect the team to reward you. Expect the team to collaborate with you. And when they're doing that on your vision, that is reward enough. I wonder how this week you could be generous with your peers. Is there somebody you could give a shout out of appreciation to? Is there somebody who's gone through something difficult? You could send a little note, a little card, a voice message, a video text. Be generous with the people around you. And the more that you do that, the more you start taking joy in that experience. They say thank you. They get more bought in. You start feeling deeper connection. And yes, even if you're the head of the household, even learning to be generous while, yes, setting boundaries and asking for the generosity of others to support you, you find that in that spirit of generosity, the more you find joy of service, even to your family. I also like to tell people, with joy of service, one of the best ways to do it is to make sure you're getting feedback. If you're just giving, and you're never improving your giving, or you're giving, and you never ask, hey, is this what you need? Does this support you? Is there anything I could do better? Then what you're doing is you're slowly edging yourself into martyrdom. You're serving often from a place of ego, not true empathy, not listening, not asking what people need. This was me when I was in my 20s, in a lot of my relationships when I was dating. I thought I knew what it meant to be a good man in the relationships, but a lot of the relationships I had end up being fairly superficial because I didn't know enough to ask enough questions to make sure I was a good boyfriend. I was just going through the motions of what I thought one was without actually understanding it because I asked for feedback. Last idea this morning. Reflect on your days to capture meaning. Now, here at GrowthDay, we talk a lot about meaning. We talk a lot about fulfillment. We talk about living a joyful, abundant, connected, meaningful life. And to do that requires that you do a lot of self-reflection. The number one way in all of research found over the last 50 years to do that is to journal. To finish your day and to journal even if just 2 to 5 minutes to capture moments that you found meaningful. Otherwise, when people did compliment you, you forgot about it. And weeks on weeks on weeks on end, you're not capturing all those little moments where people say something of appreciation, give a kind compliment, support you, get your back, help you with the dishes, whatever it is. If you're not capturing those little moments of things in which other people are serving you, or you felt served by your creator, or you felt like you showed up and served well, then it all blends together. Think about these last 2 or 3 years. It all kind of can just blend together in a big blur for a lot of people. But that doesn't happen as much for people who journal. In fact, psychologists have found that people who journal not only have all the benefits of feeling less stressed, more self-aware, more confident. Not only do journalers earn more money, not only do they get promoted faster, not only are all those external things a reality, but one of the most beautiful things is they have a higher sense of life satisfaction, decade after decade after decade. Why? Because they've journaled. They've captured all of those meaningful moments. They've captured all those little beautiful things that they noticed along the way. And by doing it on a consistent basis, it builds that muscle to notice it even more. One of the reasons positive psychologists especially recommend journaling about gratitude on a consistent basis isn't just because we all have a million things to be grateful for, but because rather by capturing 1 or 2 items every day, you start noticing 5 or 6. By simply capturing and writing it down or typing it in your GrowthDay journal, capturing those simple moments of gratitude, those simple times in which you had joy serving others or others taking care of you, giving you support or camaraderie or collaboration or even leadership. Guess what? Over a period of time, that happens more and more and more. And now, joy. You just feel abundant and happy. Like I wake up on Mondays, the joy of service is in me because A, I have that mantra. B, I make sure I'm generous with others. C, I'm doing a lot of feedback. But also, just last night, I was capturing all the reasons that I have this joy in my heart because I get to see the service in the world, from the testimonials you all give to the recommendations you all give in the app stores when you rate our app, which, by the way, I would love and appreciate if you did that for us if you haven't already. To the emails that we get every day, to all the DMs you guys drop me on Instagram, like all these things that I see, it's like I don't need a million of them. It's like 1 or 2 nice things every day from somebody who I'm trying to serve. It makes me feel pretty good. Capture that in the journal, tend to notice more of it as it happens. I hope that you enjoyed today's Daily Fire. If you did, maybe extend that kind favor to us. Maybe go to the app stores today and just give us a little rating about what you enjoy about GrowthDay. Be generous, be positive, be kind. We're a startup. We're getting better at it. We're learning a lot as we're going, but we're really just 6 months into this. And I appreciate each and every single one of you who've been helping, who've been serving, who've been so kind, and who are contributing so much to this community with your positive energy and intention. But most importantly, for every single one of you, whether you ever leave a review or not, and you're listening to my voice right now, I just want to say thank you. You making personal development a priority is bettering the world because you're getting better. And when you're better, you're a better caregiver, parent, lover, contributor, leader. And as you get better in those roles, you also impact other people in a more positive way. Personal development is the pathway to a more positive, helpful, generous, kind, and impactful world. So thank you for doing the work today. We always say it, but I mean it deeply. Every day is a great day to grow, and it's incredible that we did it today together.